how did Lifespan come about, and where did you get your ideas?
Well, I think since we work in nature that is so site-specific and engages with architecture, it probably stemmed from our initial site visit we made when last year in May we went over and spent some time in the chapel, not even thinking that we were going to be able to use this space, but yeah, we documented it and spent a lot of time thinking about, you know, what one does in such a space. You know, it's often a place to celebrate someone's life, whether it be a passing or a birth or marriage or something like that. It's often a place of contemplation for these kinds of things. So I guess it stemmed from there.
In your previous projects, I've noticed that often there seems to be a dialogue between the artwork and the site. Would you comment on the relationship of Lifespan to the site at the Venice Biennale?
I guess it wasn't really the first time we've been in Venice. We've been to Venice a few times before, and it's a pretty amazing city, and it's interesting how it turned from a mercantile and political, I guess, powerhouse within Italy, and now it's kind of a strange tourist trap. And a lot of our work is interested in transformations and how things change, and going to Venice and checking out the chapel that's within the Ludoteca, how it turned from what was once a convent to, and then now it's a deconsecrated place, and now, so that in itself has changed. So that sense of change and that sense of passing, we were thinking about that, and that flowed into the work that we're proposing. Yeah,
so I guess the material that we're using is not really reminiscent of the structure that we're creating is not really reminiscent of the material we're using, but is something that has been around for the last couple of decades and something that we've engaged with for a lot of our own growing up, you know, and yeah.
Prior to 2003, I believe you both had solo careers. What was the reason for you to both begin working together, and how does this collaboration work on a practical level?
Well, we did have solo careers for probably about 10 years before we started collaborating, and we were always, we both started off, you know, in the sculpture department at COFA, and I guess it was there that we started talking a lot to each other about our ideas, and also we were always there for each other, helping out with the technical aspects or just the logistical aspects of creating a work. But it was not until we started living together really that our work kind of just naturally became a collaboration, and yeah, it was pretty much...
It was actually from COFA that we started our collaborative practice, because we had a show at
Kudos Gallery.
Yeah. And when we went to Kudos, we were because we had planned to have a show at Kudos together, and then we went into the space and we were like, this is really... We were kind of really impressed with the space, and it'd be really... And we just thought, it'd be really boring if we just plonked each of our works within it. So why don't we just do a...
That was the initial plan.
Yeah, why don't we just do an installation together and make use of the space? And
yeah, not really thinking about actually collaborating, but actually just using the space more than thinking about, okay, let's do something together. Yeah, so it just kind of unfolded that way.
And lastly, like myself, you also studied for a period at COFA. Can you talk about your education and how it has impacted on your career as an artist? So you've already kind of spoken about that.
Yeah. I guess it's pretty intense, that transition that you make from being a high school student and this kind of art express kind of vision that you have of art, and then going through university and understanding what art is and what it means to make it, and then also just what your voice is, because I think a lot of people come into art school and think, yeah, I want to express myself, and it's like, but what is it exactly that you want to express? And so I think sometimes,
I think it had a lot to do with the lecturers we had, actually. When we were both working within a sculpture department, we had Martin Sims and Benita Ely, and I really think that the way they taught has really had an impact on what we make. I remember Martin always insisting that I think bigger than just a small bowl of latex. He was like, go and get 20 kilos, go and get 2 buckets of it, and he tried to, in a way, instill some kind of fear, but at the same time just trying to let me just break free. And the same with Benita. I think it had a lot to do with them in what we make today. Because I think we both think in a very similar, our ideas are completely different, yet the way we come about making work is quite similar. I think it comes from having trained in the same institution under the same people.
Well, thank you very much, Claire Healy Sean Cordeiro, for those interesting insights into your work, and good luck with all your work in the future. Thank you.